There everyone, today I have my full review of the Sinn or Zinn 240 ST. I'm gonna probably be pronouncing it Sinn for the rest of the video. That's just how we pronounce it here in the US for whatever reason. I do know that it is pronounced Zinn because it is German. So you have a 43 millimeter barrel shaped case, 22 millimeter lug width, 46 millimeters lug to lug, only 11 millimeters thick, sapphire crystal SW220-1 automatic movement, which is the date, Salida SW200 movement basically. Now, if you've seen the unboxing video, you know I picked this up from Watchbuys. I bought this from Watchbuys. $1,760 is the current price on a leather strap. Which was like jumping into the frame there. The leather strap would be this black one. I purchased separately this D model strap in brown, which is the exact same strap as the Sinn black. But I felt that this one, the black one, was a little short. Really, it was very short. This is the long strap. It is the 120 by 80 millimeters. So it's a little longer, wears a little nicer on the wrist, and I like the brown color as well. Now, as I said, these are $1,760 on the strap. If you want the bracelet option and you're buying it from Watchbuys, I'll have Watchbuys if you're not familiar with them. They are an officially authorized dealer for Sinn in the US. I'll have that linked in the description below. But if you're not familiar, these are $1,930 if you buy it on the H-Link Sinn bracelet. Now, if you buy the bracelet separate, say you buy this watch, and you buy it on the leather strap, and you're like, ah, man, I really wish I wanted it on the bracelet. Well, that's where they get you, because that bracelet will now run you $300. And if you do the math, $1,760 to $1,930, you're looking at a $170 difference if you buy it on the bracelet already. But now you're looking at $300 if you want to purchase it separately. I'm not sure what the deal is there and why there is such a high difference in that price. And that brings me to my bittersweet part of this review. And that is, this watch is already on the way out because I decided not to keep this one. And this is weird. Usually watches are sent for review. I, of course, purchased this for myself. And it's weird because I don't know if I've ever done a review of a watch that I'm already have on the way out as far as, I decided to sell it. And there's quite a few reasons that I decided to sell it. One of the main ones is just, and I'm sure many of you have experienced this, it is just not for me. And one of the things is, after wearing it for a few days, I realized that, I really wish I had had the bracelet. Even after I got the brown leather strap and it was a little longer and it fit me better, I really wished I had gotten the bracelet. Thing is, I just was not going to shell out $300 now for the bracelet. I had already spent another $80 for the brown leather strap. And I was just like, oh man, another $300 for the bracelet. Now you're over $2,000 easily for this watch. When these first came out, they were 15 something on the leather strap and about 1,700 and change on the bracelet. Prices have gone up in the past couple of years. And, it's still considered an entry level piece for Sinn. But I just wasn't enamored with the watch enough to then want to spend an extra $300 for the bracelet. When you go ahead and you look a little bit closer here, you see, of course, that date and date at the 3 o'clock position. Hands are very similar to many different Sinn models. I very much like the hands. I very much like the whole dial in general, as far as it's a clean dial, just a brand name, the day and the date. That's it. Down there at the bottom, just very faintly, it says made in Germany. This is a pilot style watch, so you do have that inner rotating bezel, which you can accentuate with the 2 o'clock crown. Only 100 meters water resistant, so that is a non-screw down crown there for your time and date setting. Now, this being a Sinn watch, just like a lot of Sinn watches, actually all Sinn watches, a lot of Breitling watches, and a few other brands, this has a dual AR coating. Now, if you're not familiar with a dual AR coating, that means there is an AR coating on the underside of the crystal as well as on the top of the crystal. And why that does really perform and give you a great anti-reflective coating to the watch. As you can see here, you could really see that dial very vibrantly. The problem with it is if you drop your watch, you scratch your watch, you walk into a wall, you're getting into your car, you bounce it off something, you can get a scratch not in your crystal, but in the coating. And the problem is then if it really bothers you, you're going to have to send it in to have the crystal AR coated, or try and buff it out yourself, which I know, guys over the years have done various methods to try and buff off that outer AR coating. Moving around to the case back, as you can see, it is a really clean, really simple case back. And if I haven't pointed it out yet, and my apologies, the Sinn 240 ST is completely bead blasted. Now, this is not a tegamented or hardened case like a lot of Sinn watches. Just a straight bead blasted case, and this is the only way it comes in. And if you get the bracelet will be bead blasted as well. And I gotta say, though, I have worn this watch. I have worn it off and on for 2 months, and I actually haven't worn it now for probably a week since I decided that it really wasn't for me anymore. But I gotta say, the bead blasting coating has held up really well. It is not a weak or wimpy bead blasted coating. I don't know what they're doing to it or what their process is for it, but it actually holds up a lot better than some bead blasted watches that I have had over the years. So I'm definitely going to show you my wrist shot on my 7.5 inch wrist like I usually do, and I'm definitely going to show you a Lume shot. It is C1 Super Luminova. It is not the greatest of Lume, but it is not horrible Lume, and it does, it glows decent enough that you'll be able to see it, middle of the night type of thing, as long as it had a sufficient light charge before you went dark, so to speak. So let me just kind of go over some of the other things that, and I want to make something perfectly clear. Obviously, I'm never here to sell you a watch. I think most of you people watching this, and if you're new to this, that's not my job here. Unlike other review sites, I don't like to say you should buy this or you should get this or you should do this. I tell you if I like it, if I would buy it. Obviously, in the case of this, I did buy this and it isn't for me. I try and present it and then leave you up to your own conclusions, and that's the way, of course, that it should be. So again, if you do want to purchase this from Watchbuys, I'll have the link in the description. I'm not trying to ward anybody away from buying this because really it is a fantastic watch. It's a phenomenal watch, actually. It has the day and date, which I love. I just love, you know what it is? It's like when you see a pair of sneakers and you just love those sneakers. And you're like, man, those are so cool. Or a pair of boots or whatever. And you're just like, man, those are so cool. I just want them. And then you get them. And it's like, those just don't look right on me. And that kind of was the case here. I had lusted over this for so long. And then, you kind of build it up in your head and everything. And then it just is not the right watch for me, unfortunately. It's just the matte dial, like I said, the toolish style case, which I really thought I was going to love, and it's just not wowing me personally enough to justify keeping it. So that really is that. I mean, everything else, if you're not familiar with Sinn watches, I gotta say, The craftsmanship, the quality, no issues there whatsoever. I haven't noticed one issue in the past 2 months. As I said, the bead blasted coating I can't even really notice any marks or dings. Obviously, if we got a microscope, in there, or excuse me, a magnifying glass in there, yeah, I'm sure we could find some very minute little marks or something like that. But otherwise, it really has been holding up great. It's a great watch, and it is a great looking watch, just not one that I want to keep. So here is the Sinn 240 ST on my 7.5-inch wrist. Now this is on the replacement strap. Keep in mind, this strap is exactly the same as the stock strap. It's only brown and longer. I got it off a dealer on Amazon. Actually, they shipped from New Jersey. And the only difference is, of course, I swapped out the actual bead blasted Sinn buckle to it. But the only difference is these D-model straps always have this flap of leather underneath so that the buckle doesn't actually sit against your skin. The stock Sinn straps do not have those. Now, as you can see where it sits on my wrist and how many holes I have left and everything, the reason that I ordered this is because the stock strap is like 115 by 70 or 75 millimeters. This is 120 by 85, I believe. So it's a little bit longer. This is what's called a long strap, keep in mind. It is not a crazy long strap. It's not 120 by 8 or 130 by 80 millimeter or 130 by 90 millimeter, anything like that. So keep that in mind. And then because of that short lug-to-lug, that 46 millimeter, if you have a big wrist, you're probably going to want to either order the bracelet or have another strap ready to go, because it's definitely not going to fit you on the stock strap out of the box. And if you have a larger wrist, if you have a larger wrist than mine, I'll show you here. You have a couple of holes left in the replacement long strap. But if it's really a lot bigger than mine, you're definitely going to want to go with something else. Here is a look at the Lume as promised. Now, this was just charged with a flashlight seconds before I hit record here. And as I said, it is C1 Super Luminova, and it's good. It's not great. It's decent. It'll do the job. But this is definitely one area that Sinn can improve on and upgrade to like a nice C3 Super Luminova and put a good couple of layers on there for that ultimate nighttime visibility. So really, this is not the type of review that I planned on giving here for the Sinn 240 ST, but that's just the way it works out sometimes. And no matter how much research, how much you think you want it or you loved it, and sometimes you get it in hand, and hey, it's just a reality. It's just not for you, and that was the case here. I will say, of course, if you want this on the bracelet, make sure you purchase it on the bracelet when you order it, or otherwise you're definitely going to be spending a significant amount more to do so if you purchase them separately. It still is an entry-level piece for Sinn. It is a great-looking watch. Anytime I posted this on social media or on a forum or a group or whatever, people are like, oh my God, I love that watch, or, I've had one of these, or I had one, or I'm really looking into buying one. So the design, that barrel-shaped case, and then just that very military-style pilot look is very popular. And as I said, all-around great watch. Just in the end, not a great watch for this guy. If you like what you've seen here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then hit that notification bell twice, and that way you'll never miss another review. You could follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This has been a look at the Sinn 240 ST. This has been Don Evans for WatchReport.com. Thanks for watching. Talk to you on the next one.